Yes, this is Brett Norman. Hey, I'm a carpenter in Minnesota and not a big kind of guy. I don't do a lot of fancy stuff, but look, I've been a musician my whole life. I've really acquired a real taste for doing engineering and working with audio. And I met Michael online here. I think it was in 2018, Michael. And we've been 4 years or so at the mic together, a little bit here and there, not a whole lot. But I hope our listeners know that there's quite a bit of vast difference between Michael and I in terms of real estate. He's all the way in Germany, and I'm here in Minnesota in the frozen tundra. And we are about to embark onto another journey back into the past, dealing with an issue that probably will never get resolved, Michael, as long as we're alive. Dealing with the JFK assassination. And Michael has worked very long and hard to bring us to this point today in the script. And I forget how many pages we've gone through, Michael, but it sure has been a lot of material that you've put together. So we're anxiously waiting here because you've been speaking about the Magic Bullet series, or the Magic Bullet session for many, many, many occasions all the way to right now.
And therefore I said that it's unbelievable. You see, they fool the people with the magic bullet when everybody with a brain knows and can figure it out that it wasn't so. And therefore I was just distracted by another thing, which let me not mentally astray, Brett. But sometimes I have to take a little bit pause of all the Kennedy stuff and all the negative things in the world. And I came across of a video which is totally on the first hand, has nothing to do with the Kennedy assassination, because it depicts somebody who was once very famous in sports and whom I met personally. The name is Dorian Yates, and I don't think that you have ever come across Dorian Yates, did you? Does not ring a bell, I think.
No.
Okay. So that is Dorian Yates. Dorian Yates was 6 times the best bodybuilder in the world, 1993 to 1997, if I remember correctly. I met him in person and talked to him briefly, and yeah, he's a very smart guy, of course, without any chemicals, not magic bullet, but without any chemicals, you can't achieve that massive size. But he was so eager to achieve his outstanding physique that I know of somebody personal who have seen him in person during the height of his career, and he said that guy was unbelievable. He was thin as a paper, and you could see everything. So that tells you something about the ego of that man, who is very careful in planning his diet, who is very eager in sports, who is very pushy, and he's not the average couch potato. Yeah, you don't have to like that, but I just point out that even somebody who appears on the first impression that maybe would be some superficial guy who is just into sports and what does Michael is totally off the way. No, I'm not. And just point out that to achieve that kind of a physique, you have to train extremely hard. And I know what I'm talking about because I was in a fitness sport decades ago. You have to train extremely hard. You have to have diets, and you have to know what you are doing. And even Dorian Yates, who is more physically orientated in his life, maybe, I have looked up some interesting interview of him. That interview is called Dorian Yates, the Genius Scientist of Bodybuilding, because of course he has his own company selling health things and drinks and all the stuff. But I was following that interview for almost 2 hours when something came up, and would like to incorporate that here. He's been asked because he has made comments about 9/11. I don't know his comments on 9/11, and this is a Kennedy session, but you see Kennedy will soon come out of his mouth.
Some of the things you talk about, which is very interesting, when you start dropping comments on 9/11 and what happened there and who did this and who did that. Yeah. You're from UK, I know you're living in Spain right now. What are your thoughts about Boris Johnson, Brexit? How are you seeing that?
Well, the Brexit thing, I'm in favor of that, right? Why? Because I'm against globalization and the centralization of power, and that's what they were trying to do, to make Europe into one superstate like the United States. But it's not. Here you have a common language, a common culture. In Europe, we have different languages, different cultures, and also UK is an island. We're separated from the continent, so we feel like we're not really European, we're British. So for those reasons, I was in favor of the Brexit when people voted to go out. So they fucking voted to go out. Get it fixed, man. But there's forces and people that don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. They're like, maybe we should have a second vote after we've caused you a lot of fear and inconvenience. Maybe you want to reconsider your vote. Like, almost it's like that. So it may cause me some inconvenience because I live in Spain. It may not. I'm not really sure. I don't think so, because I'm resident there anyway. And there's an agreement between UK and Spain that Spanish people residing in UK carry on and vice versa. So I don't think personally it would affect me, but for the reason I'm against globalization, so I'm for Brexit. But what they're doing now, screwing around, I really don't know. I'm not keeping track of it. But people voted to get out, so let's get out.
You think Boris Johnson's the right guy to help make that happen?
I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of politicians. I think they're all clowns and they're all puppets. They're usually getting their strings pulled from somewhere else.
All around, not just
all
UK,
around,
all
man.
around.
Everywhere, man. And if they can't pull your strings, look what happened here in Dallas, man. If you don't play the game, that's what can happen. So, yeah, I'm not a big believer in, like, it's a game, man. You're not happy with this guy? You're not happy with the brown guy? Wow, we got a totally different guy now. Yeah, but what really changes is some superficial things, but deep levels, I don't know if it's going to change that much. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will.
When you say Dallas, you're talking about 1960.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You're talking about John F. Kennedy Dallas is what you're talking about. Okay. So I brought Jim Jenkins. Jim Jenkins, I brought him as a guest. And we launched the interview on the day of the anniversary of John F. Kennedy getting assassinated. And Jim Jenkins was one of the 4 guys who was in the autopsy holding his brain after he got shot. And he says, I looked at the brain. Somebody worked on the brain before it came to us. Somebody had done some work to it. So,
what kind of work?
Meaning somebody had done some incision, somebody had already
took
done
some samples or something?
Yes, way before we looked at it. And the brain was supposed to be, the body was supposed to be in a complete different casket, but they took it and they brought it earlier where Jackie's riding in the car thinking the body's in the back, and it's not. It was in a completely different car. And his suspicion was, anyways, this is another conspiracy. His suspicion was that, you know, maybe Lyndon B. Johnson was behind the whole thing, because he wasn't too happy about the amount of attention John F. Kennedy was getting. So,
right.
Yeah. So you see, even a bodybuilder can come up with the conclusion that politicians are just puppets on a string, and Kennedy didn't play the game. And that additional information about Jenkins, you see, I don't know what to make out of it, because he was part of the second autopsy at the military hospital. So it can also be leading astray somebody. But of course, as you don't have the brain, you don't have the path of the bullet, Brett. And we are not speaking about the magic bullet at the moment. We're speaking about the fatal bullet. I was just impressed by that interview, because you see that the average man, or common sense, you see, tells you that Kennedy was not playing by the game.
You mean the big political game that is being waged in front of our faces, and we seem to ignore at times because it's just so much rhetoric and so much red tape that.
you got even official organizations who want to get rid of skeptics. So one of them is called Skeptic. Yeah, so they try to convince you into everything is okay with the magic bullet theory. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, you see they come up with these conclusions. Yeah, it must have been so because there were just 3 shots heard. Ow. Somebody can fire up 3 shots, and it does not mean that the president has been hit 3 times or that Oswald has made shots in anything. You see, that is just pure distraction. And of course, they have got this model here and all that stuff. And you see that is. May I come back to Inspector Clouseau in A Shot in the Dark with that hilarious billiard stick here? But it is just a coincidence, Brett, huh? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the magic bullet reference?
Of course, yeah, and everyone's supposed to laugh and make a big joke out of it and move on. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's a big laugh, you see, but that's similar to the magic bullet theory or the single bullet theory. Yeah, from 1964, A Shot in the Dark, Brett. Yeah. In 1965, you got a German kind of a Western with Stuart Granger. It's called Old Shatterhand, who is somebody who is the best marksman in the entire West. Of course, it's fiction. It's a fairy tale like the Freischütz or the magic bullet. Yeah, and he never misses. Yeah, and this is his signature. He is just going his index finger to his head, okay? Once in this movie, 1965 and 1964, okay? That also can lead to a Freemason pose. Yeah, the finger to the chin or the finger to the temple.
You mean pointer finger?
Pointer finger. Oh, thank you.
Pointer. Index is your middle finger.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so pointer finger. Yeah. Okay, so I repeat. Thank you. So that's Stuart Granger in that European Western. He appeared 3 times. He's just using that signature here with his pointer finger.
It's so hard to see that, Michael, with the brim of his cap there. It's hard to see it.
Here is his finger here.
Yeah, it's hard to see it with
the tip of the finger is here when the
yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so that also could mean that he's coming from the States. That could also mean a Freemason attribute of putting the pointer finger to the brain, huh? For example. Yeah, so world is full of symbolism. Yeah, and Dorian Yates just mentioned politicians on a string, right, Brett? Yeah, so this is a German fairy tale with puppets here hanging on a string, and here you see King Alphonse a quarter before 12. Yeah, so that is of course children play, which is very funny here. But you see the strings on the man who's playing the king, but you don't see the strings on the politician nowadays, don't you, Brett? Yeah, so that is the difference, I think.
Actually, with Barack Obama, I actually saw real strings.
You did. Okay.
I'm just being a little facetious, but I can't help it.
Yeah. So, but you see that people can tell you everything. Don't be fooled. There's always and everywhere a Jesuit, huh? Science falls is so cold. Yeah. So that is the magic bullet theory of son and father. Yeah, you can dismiss that easily. Oh, we did that. Yeah, single bullet theory does not match up with the wounds in the shirt. Yeah, so must be something else. We don't know. You can fake everything, huh? That's clear, huh? Yeah, you don't need to fake the shirt, but you can make bullet holes afterwards because you're in a position of every evidence. Yeah, so if you're FBI or so, you can fake everything. Yeah, so don't take that as granted. Yeah, you can't take anything as granted here. So that is absolutely futile to get into. The problem is the inconsistency. Yeah, so in Zapruder frame 2 to 6, Kennedy has been hit. Connolly is straight. Yeah, sitting straight. Yeah, although Kennedy has been hit already, Connolly still standing straight. Yeah, so single bullet, magic bullet theory. Oh, it's just I got maybe I should do. Who is next? Yeah, so 1.8 seconds before he reacts, as Matthias Brückers points out. Yeah, great, huh? So that is a great bullet. Usually he must react it the same way, 2 to 6. Yeah, he does not react, so therefore there is no stinger or magic bullet. Yeah, yeah. Now he's turning on the right. How do you turn right? When you have been hit in the back, when you have been hit in the wrist, and when you have hit in your thigh, Brett. Then the most logical thing is that you turn back, right? Or you turn right. Ugh. Yeah, nobody asks this question. Brett, you have to unmute your mic.
What do you mean?
Ah, you did not say anything.
I know.
No.
What's there to say?
What's there to say? Yeah, yeah, it's hilarious, huh? So if you've been struck 3 times, you just you don't yell. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
you just been hit 3 times, and you say that maybe I look around if some other guys have also been hit 2 or 3 times. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And in Z-frame 280 has been made a 100-degree turn. Huh? So between 226 and 280, he has made 180-degree turn. So that is 54 frames divided to 18 frames per second. So in 3 seconds, he has made 180 degrees turn with a chest wound, with a wrist wound, and with a back wound. What else to say? What else to say? And 290, he gets into the front, and 296, he has been hit, or just he's yelling. Maybe he's then remembered, oh yeah, I forgot my text. I don't know. Yeah, so it does not make sense that they will be hit by a magic bullet. Yeah, so there must be something else, but you won't never prove it 100%. Yeah, it's like Teletubbies. Yeah, you see that when they instruct you in a doctrine for a 2-year-old, yeah, then you learn that the sun actually has a face and that the sun is everything and that there is a Christmas compilation like today. Yeah, billions of children, Brett, are usually taking this evening as an occasion to receive many gifts. That's the only purpose in the material world, to make money and fortune and have more.
Spoil the boy when he's young, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so much for a sun religion. Yeah. Get them when they're young. Get them when they're young. So back to the magic bullet. We have pointed out that if magic was occurring, then it is a priestly background, and there were 7 wounds. Yeah, so 7 deadly sins. Yeah, so we're on a Catholic road to hell. Yeah, not purgatory, because that does not exist in the Bible. Yeah. When we asked Mrs. Connelly, then she said, then we heard a 3rd shot from the same place. Aha, so she heard a 3rd shot from the same place. The problem is the inconsistent things when you ask your husband. When you asked her husband, he said, I heard another shot about that loud, and he was clapping in his hand. Yeah, so at least there are 2 shooters, or from 2 different locations, because that last one was much more louder than the other one, which says, no, that can't be that it came from the same place. Yeah, but what do I know? What do I know? You see that these are all actors. But we are still only having talked about the magic bullet and the magic and 7 entry and exit wounds. Yeah, but we got much more, Brett. The worst part is just coming.
Right.
From Dallas Parkland Memorial Hospital on the Gurney, they had born Governor Connelly. It has also known as the magic or pristine bullet. From the side, the bullet appears unaltered except for a small amount of lead that had been squeezed past the bottom edge. But the end on view reveals the formerly round bullet is far from pristine. The bullet in the diagram above is enlarged. The actual size of the bullet was 1 1/4. But it's almost pristine, considering the amount of exit and entry wounds, Brett. What does pristine mean? Pristine means former, earlier, original, or unspoiled and untouched and pure. I said, oh, that is interesting. Yeah, so the bullet number 2, which allegedly hit several targets and then made it quite pristine. Yeah, and that is very interesting. Yeah, let's look it up. The magic bullet you can easily debunk. You see the reactions of Connelly, for example, and the angle and so much other things. Yeah, but this is just one lie, and maybe it has been sufficient for the American mass media because they don't they believe everything that some researcher is coming up. So do your own research. Do your own research. Yeah, do your own research. If there was a magic bullet, Brett, why does the military does not use it? They would be far better off because they would use less ammunition in their fighter jets. And ask any hunter, you see that many times some animal is standing in front of another animal, and if it would be shot, then you would have the double value. Yeah, you would have 2 animals instead of 1. So ask any military fighter, ask any soldier, ask any murderer, ask any hunter, ask any policeman, yeah, if they have ever come across the fact that 1 bullet caused 7 different wounds on 2 people. And you won't find 1. It only happened in the case of Kennedy, so that can't be. This is fairy tale, yeah. This is like Bambi, yeah. If Bambi lost his mother, yeah, and then so with the magic bullet, Bambi would also be dead. Yeah, I'm sorry. But you really have to realize, yeah, that when you have been fooled, there is no single bullet which caused 7 different injuries. Yeah. Also, other proportions of the movie are questionable, but it is that very special bullet. Yeah. And if you use other bullets, you see that you got different results, and they've just been tried to fire a bullet through a goat. Why do they use a goat? Scapegoat. Yeah, also maybe a reference to the Bible, but the problem is that they did not use any bullet as a example, causing 7 entry-exit wounds. Yeah, so this is a ritual. It's like the my pet goat. Yeah, you see, goat. Yeah, it's like my pet goat ritual at the 9/11. Yeah.
Well, you know, throughout this whole ritual, you want to call it that, they're mocking us.
Mm. Yeah, they do. Yeah. They speak to us like little children. Yeah. So when George W. Bush, also not only member of Skull and Bones 322, former president of the United States, or what's been left of it, he was in a class who were little children reciting some words who does not make any sense, at least when you then know that out of a sudden an official came to the president and was whispering in his ear, "Mr. President, America is under attack." And George W. Bush just was sitting there doing nothing. Doing nothing. What was the task at the President of the United States? To do something for his country, to serve his country. Now he did do anything because he was not rebel, because he knew that, what do I care? The ritual is going on. Yeah, and in that ritual, the little children were reciting these words: kite, hit, steal, plane, must. So if you now know it is all before or during the 9/11 attacks, yeah, then it's quite simple. Kite, by the way, is the other side of the single of Wuthering Heights from Kate Bush, and we know that Kate Bush is very much into sorcery. Yeah, so kite, hit, steal, must. Of course, kite is very interesting. Kite is a European bird of prey, and also be the name of a dragon that little children can use for flying into the air in autumn. Yeah, so that's a little dragon. It's a kite. It's a dragon. Yeah, so the dragon hits steal with a plane, or the dragon must hit steal with the plane. Yeah, so that's it. It's a dragon here. It's like, it's a kite. It's just, dragon would be so too obvious, I think. Yeah, kite they use here because it just simply is a depiction of the dragon or Satan. Therefore, yeah, you got the 9/11 thing, which is absolutely no coincidence and is an inside job, of course. It's like Kennedy is an inside job. You can't get rid of brains and evidence when you are Fidel Castro or somebody else. Yeah, so that is a kite. It's a dragon. It's called here the dragon in Germany. Everybody will say it's a flying dragon. Yeah, it's a children's toy. How to make fire drakes, and even military applications have used them in 647. Using flaming kites, which scared the enemy. Oh. So, also JFK is a ritual. And speaking of George W. Bush, his father, Papi, Herbert Walker Bush, was being seen present at the JFK ritual, so to speak, in Dallas on that very November. Yeah, but that's only just a coincidence when he later became the boss of the CIA, that same organization that JFK wanted to shatter, what was it? Scatter it to the winds. Yeah. But so nobody knows what the magic bullet actually is, because people say that, oh, it is not the same bullet that I was looking to when I found a bullet on a scratcher. So it does not the bullet on a scratcher, sondern a bullet on a scratcher. My, oh my, you don't get anywhere with that. Later determined to have been fired by Oswald's rifle. Yeah, sure. Later determined that it fell into a restaurant and underneath and went into the cellar and drank a little wine, and then they came out of alcohol and that bullet fly into the air. You see that it's all fairy tales here. Sorry. Yeah. Each bullet shows a significant amount of damage, yeah, especially that one. Yeah. But this bullet here, that is the supreme bullet of all bullets. Huh? Yeah. And so also the rifling is not continuously. You see that is the rifling. It's this very characteristically, you can point out from which gun that bullet was most likely fired when you know these lines here, and these lines also been used in the James Bond movies. Yeah, so that is also to find out the grooves, what kind of a bullet is been fired from which kind of a weapon. Yeah, so original size of the stretcher bullet. And then you got opposite sides of a stretcher bullet photo taken from the FBI. Yeah, so you don't know what's what. Yeah, so they fool you with everything. Yeah, every time drawing the attention away from the ritual. Yeah, this is all a ritual here. Yeah, nobody tells you what GG 300 stands for. Yeah, you're not supposed to know. Yeah. It's like the problem with it, people don't believe it because they can't get used to it, and then maybe get scared when they know that they have been betrayed all their life, right? Yeah. It's like going into Aleister Crowley, which has been most likely controlled by the Cecils or by whomsoever, but or you see that he's making so many books which can also be used as a cipher or to decipher things. For example, the Book of the Law, Liber Oz. Yeah, the Sorcerer of Oz, the Land of Oz, the book 7:7. Yeah, it's the law of the strong. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Yeah. Do what thou wilt, 7:7. It's like American Airlines Flight 77, which can also be used as an abbreviation of Crowley's order, Argentum Astrum, so the Silver Star, 77, the Book of the Law. Do what thou wilt, because they get away with everything. And this is the magic bullet, for example, in the 9/11 attack. Because this is an attack on the Pentagon, where no plane has been found. So this is the magic plane. And there's a second magic plane in Shanksville. Yeah, no passengers, no luggage. Yeah, no big engines. There's nothing. But you see that the government is constantly lying to the people. Yeah, coming that flight from Dulles Airport. Great. Dulles. Yeah, you know the Dulles brothers that JFK wanted to get rid of. And fired him from the job as a CIA director, and one relative of them, younger one, was Avery Cardinal Dulles, who has been officially set into a position by Cardinal Spellman. Yeah, so that is your red flag in that. Because just simply the bullet hole is too small for that big plane, and the engines, they must have disappeared into thin air. It's like the magic plane. And of course, they can't afford any decent cameras. Yeah, there was a gas station that had a perfect camera angle of the crash site, but the FBI confiscated it for some odd reason. Yeah, we know that some odd reason. That's the same reason as in the assassination of Kennedy. They confiscate anything. Yeah.
Yep, because you're not allowed to know the truth.
Yes. Yeah. In other news, several security cameras at a local Walmart were able to record many different angles of a homeless man stealing in a banana pie. Yeah. But that's the only thing that you get. My. Yeah. It's a shame that the Pentagon couldn't afford a camera that could shoot more than 3 frames per second. Let's start a GoFundMe page for them. It is amazing that the airplane made a hole smaller than the plane itself. Yeah, that's the hole. And where are your engines? Where are the wings? Where are the engines? The engines are the most massive part of the plane. They are more massive than the nose of the plane. So don't expect that kind of a hole. Expect a smaller hole in the middle and 2 giant holes left and right. This is aluminium here, but the engines are not made out of aluminium as far as I know.
Right, it's titanium blades, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is just for the mainstream that they see, oh yeah, that's a hole in the plane. Yeah, sure. My. Yeah, and so you got the same, you got the indication of fire in orange, yeah, and here. And that's the same as in the Kennedy assassination. And I would say that this is much more exaggerated here. Somebody was messing up with all the color that he had. My. That's the famous Zapruder 313, yeah? And it's everything to do with the ritual and magic here.
Is the driver looking at him? It looks like the driver is actually looking at Kennedy as he's head is exploding.
Yeah, that's also what my conclusion is. You see that Jackie Kennedy also had pressure, maybe from Greer. That's why he pointed most likely a gun towards her, that she gets into action. Otherwise, she would be killed. Yeah.
Oh.
Catch-22.
Yes.
Sitting between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
And also, you see that maybe the Umbrella Man was the first initiative symbolism that she got into programmation. Yeah. But then you see there are several other people in the car giving her any kind of instructions. Yeah. So it could be Connelly when he was turning around and saying something to her. Go, Jackie, go. Yeah. Go, bitch, or what else? I don't know. Yeah. Or, yeah, sorry. Yeah. But, yeah, some code word, yes, maybe maybe the name of the officially dead last children or what else, if that is correct, I don't know. Yeah, jeez. I don't know. Maybe somebody said Marilyn Monroe and she pulled the trigger. I don't know. Yeah, but you see that
right. The trigger, yes.
If Greer would have looked backwards and pointed the gun at her, you see that he was threatening her that if you don't act, then I do. Yeah, and also he could be the one giving her the final go. And she said, "Go, Jackie, go now." Yeah, I've slowed down the car. I look to the back. I'm pointing my gun at you. Go, or else.
Yep.
So it's all magic because we know. Sorry, Brad. But we all know that this car was the altar, and we will soon need that for our explanations. Yeah, so everything has a purpose here, and the magician here, it's card number 1. Yeah, so everything was set into action here when the magician is ordering the spirits as above, so below, down to earth. Yeah, so that he has the ability to perform miracles and wonders. Yeah, so the magician will be needed together with the high priest. Yeah, and the empress and the emperor. You see the hierophants, etc., etc. Yeah, and they are the lovers, and the lovers later on they will be chained. Yeah, and then to the devil here. Yeah, so this is also a depiction here of the situation of fallen mankind when Satan is here as the accuser or as the tempter, yeah, and the deceiver. Yeah, this is tarot. This is interesting, but you see that you have to read the Bible. You can only look into these things if you really have read the Bible. Otherwise, you won't understand the symbolism here. Yeah, why the hangman is upside down. Yeah, you see, it's so obvious. Sorry. But let's get back. You see that to be absolutely sure, and we're not talking about the magic bullet here at the moment, but we will soon talk about the magic bullet. Yeah, to make absolutely sure, you don't throw a bullet through the throat of a man. You would shoot him to his head like Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, because in the head there are many arteries. Yeah, and so therefore it is unlikely that even with modern science somebody could have helped your president. Given the amount of damage, you see that was not that was coming from point blank, and that was not a kind of a full metal jacket, yeah, so which got through the head, but it exploded actually on impact. Yeah, so it must be something else. So your magic bullet theory is absolutely nonsense, yeah, for the reaction of Connelly, for the difference of height of the bullet on the JFK shirt, on so many other things. No other bullet has behaved that way, and magic we have sorted out, and 7 also we have sorted also out. Huh? So you see, everything can be fake, and you don't know which kind of cops they had in the second time in the Bethesda hospital, because at that time Officer J.D. Tippett already was shot too, and they were switching the caskets. So most likely in the Bethesda hospital they have looked up to the corpse of J.D. Tippett, most likely. So it's absolutely mess, and therefore they had to get rid of the brain, of course, because otherwise it would have been too obvious. And you see that I don't want to have my conclusions or opinions on it. I'm just looking out for the fact. Jörg. I'm just looking for the fact. Yeah? They were doing anything at the Parkland hospital, at the first hospital, the tracheotomy. Yeah, but the problem is what's kind of a use for that when the head was exploding, huh? If it is correctly what we are seeing on the Zapruder movie, huh? So everything else is here just drawing and simply BS, because here also, my humble opinion, the angle is not correct. Yeah. So what is the single bullet actually, or the magic bullet, is that it is a part of a ritual of the Freemasons. The throat, the seat of freedom of speech, that is a mortal wound. Yeah. So that is that he talked too much. Yeah. That he was a loudmouth in the sight of the people who assassinated Mr. President Kennedy. Yeah? And they lied to you, because in the Catholic Encyclopedia, volume 11, page 696, they said the truth we proclaim under oath is relative and not absolute. Huh? So they just lied to you. Yeah. And Kennedy was doomed just right from the beginning. When he said, I'm not the Catholic candidate for president, he said he will not obey the Pope. And that speech was written by a Jesuit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you see that they have doomed him right on the side. He could not get it right. And he said, yeah, I believe in the conscience, in the freedom of conscience. You see that he's bound to Unam Sanctam, 1302. He is bound to bow down to the papacy. These laws are still in use and valid. Yeah, he has to have no confession, or he has not to have any belief, yeah, other than in the Pope as the supreme leader of everybody, every politician. Yeah, he said in 1960, today I may be the victim, but tomorrow it may be you. Yeah. It's a speech to every politician, because he served as a role model, of course, that everybody knew, if I do not behave myself correctly, then they will get rid of me. Yeah? So therefore, all the things that's been said in 1963, they point the finger to the papacy. Oh, it's a poem. All things that happened in 1963 point the finger to the papacy. Yeah. So in 13th of June, the Pope has been elected. 1 day later, Kennedy has been arriving in Rome. 1 day later, Kennedy is meeting the Pope, did not obey, did not bow down, did not kiss the ring. And 22nd of November, JFK has been murdered. And 1 day later, the Pope says the sacrifice of John Kennedy. In a nutshell. But how to prove it? Are there any things which we haven't talked about yet? Yes, there are. For example, some researchers say that he was not carried inside for several minutes as a shocked and grieving Jackie protected he kept her husband from being seen by the crowd gathering around the vehicle. I don't know if that is correct, but that would mean actually that they had enough time to create that kind of a throat wound, to create the illusion that there was a shot coming down from somewhere. I don't know. You see that I don't know how to rely, and that is not part of my investigation. I want to look behind the things and not into the assassination itself. Yeah. So therefore, they're all in the game. You see the people, but you don't see their beliefs. Only God can look into their heart, and you don't know how many people are here who are in the anti-Christian belief. A close estimation for me would be all of them. Yeah, regarding this, you see that the Chief Dallas Police, Roy Kellerman, and all the people, you see Lyndon B. Johnson, they're all just in for, look for all the kingdoms in the world with their power and their glory I will give thee if you will bow down and worship me. And they just want to have power and glory. They won't have a decent life as a carpenter or as a nurse or just together with the two small children. No, they just want power and fame. Power and fame. Are you still with me?
Oh yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Satan does tempt us in various ways, and it doesn't mean that it's over. It just means you're being tempted. And and just as we had talked about earlier, Michael, that it says right in the Lord's Prayer that we are asking to be led not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. Because evil is present everywhere in this world. It's a wicked, fallen place with a bunch of confused people going around accusing each other of things they haven't even done, or things that they have done but have successfully thwarted the argument, like the Warren Commission.
In my humble belief, you see that Kennedy was already dead when he was arriving in Parkland Hospital, but nobody wants to admit it. Yeah. For several reasons. But
of course, I mean, if you see his brains being blown out in front of your face, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You're never going to recover from that.
Yeah, and so that the Secret Service had just failed on purpose, because you see that if you are a Catholic president like Ronald Reagan, you see that come on, everybody following Brett's and my channels are knowing that Ronald Reagan was a Catholic president. When he was officially assassinated, you see that
best friends with Pope John Paul II.
Yeah, we will come to that later on. Not in this session though, but there were people really officially been shot. You see that everything can be faked, of course, but there's a certain James Scott Jim Brady who was then being confined in a wheelchair. So you see that if it shall be avoided, then it will be avoided. There was a bodyguard hit and there was another bystander, so this Jim Brady been hit. So that's quite different to the assassination of Kennedy, and also you see that happened in the same close time frame when the assassination on the attack of the Polish Pope happened, with the assassin here in the Vatican. Very strange, If it shall happen, it will happen. If it shall not be happen, it won't happen. Yeah? Nobody knew how this could happen. Yeah, I know how that happened. It happened on purpose. Kennedy happened on purpose. Yeah, so many things that Kennedy did. Actually, it looks almost that he was asking for it. Yeah, not saying that he did, but you see that he draws so many red lines. Yeah, with printing his own money and not obeying the Pope and wanting to draw out of Vietnam and all the stuff. My. He was such a blockhead. In an admiring way, I have to say. You see that I don't know what got him. He's got almost opposition everywhere. I don't know really. I don't know if he was exaggerating himself. I don't know. It would be fascinating to know what his real cause was that he did not obey. Maybe this was also kind of a rebellion against his parents. You see, I don't know. Yeah. So. Gets back to no one can survive a brain explosion. That's also our belief here. Yeah. So you want to have a conclusion, you get a conclusion. So if I want to get rid of the evidence, like 9/11, they get rid of the evidence. So don't think for just one moment that you're receiving the right bullet. It's just a matter of cleaning up, as Petroman said. Yeah, so clean up the area. Nobody knows where the brain is and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Switching the coffins. Yeah, sure. Everything is possible when you are in it or when you are government official. You see, but with Kennedy itself, it's the same thing as in other things. You see, they have been built up as an idol, and nobody knows what actually is going on. He was having issues with his back. And you see, there might be some other story behind it, like in the accident of James Dean. Yeah, which was totally different to the things that Wikipedia is telling you. Mm-hmm. So don't underestimate the people who got their media in their control, which will, of course, be the issue in the next session. But we got some 60 pages left. Do you remember that Jackie Kennedy said it was so terribly hot, just blinding us? And we said that it's very strange because she left her hat on and she was in a kind of a warm dress. If you go into Dallas that morning, they say that about 9:30, so 3 hours before the assassination took place, reporter says we started to notice some patches of blue in the sky, of course. Blue sky showing and the bright sunshine, and that sunshine feels mighty cool out here, and it's still like nippy when the breeze, etc. is coming in. So 3 hours before, the weather was just clearing up, but it was not that hot. Yeah, so there must be another reason for that strange behavior, and I found some. Everything points to the papacy and to Italy. When we're talking about the shot in the dark with that strange magic bullet or a strange bullet, then it's all about facts. Yeah, but the problem is that everybody is fooling us. We don't know what has been the attribution, of course, for the 4 bullets in the chest, for example, on that hilarious movie A Shot in the Dark. Might be that just by accident, that policeman who is a lookalike of JFK, Mr. Tippit, has been shot by 4 bullets. Maybe, don't know, huh? Can be. But the more interesting things, or the most interesting, is that, quote, the bullets were fired at close range from a .25 caliber Beretta automatic, which is a ladies' rifle, 950 model, which comes up to 14, close to the number of Osiris. Osiris was murdered by his brother. Osiris is the obelisk at Didi Plaza. Osiris was murdered by his brother and literally dismembered, chopped into 14 pieces and scattered across the country. Like JFK wanted to scatter the CIA into the wind. And that is a hint in the Shot in the Dark movie, you know, with the strange billiard stick and the strange bullet, yeah, with a battalion automatic handgun. And this handgun, which I pointed out before, was a Beretta before 1968, so would fit. Yeah, would fit. And it's very interesting because that was marked as the Panther, yeah, like the Pink Panther. I know that is a bit of repetition, but so be it. James Bond uses the Beretta in the first 5 novels of the series by Ian Fleming. This is the obelisk of Osiris, which is the obelisk of Nimrod and all the stuff. And this is the obelisk of the tomb of Ian Fleming, the father of James Bond. So you know them by their fruits, or you know them by their tombstones. Mr. Bond's Secret Service, and you remember Jackie Kennedy, CIA, is described as a very flat .25 Beretta. At the end of the 5th novel, From Russia with Love, which was actually the 2nd movie and was the last movie officially that JFK looked, Bond is unable to draw the Beretta at a critical moment when a suppressor catches on the waistband of his trousers and is very nearly killed as a result. This incident leads to another order to his superior officer M, with the majesty behind it. I know who is depicted here, that is from the Second World War, but not part of this thing. And therefore, Ian Fleming received a fan letter from Geoffrey Boothroyd, and he said that the Beretta is a lady's gun, nice and light for a lady's handbag. And we do not know if Jackie Kennedy fired that shot through the handbag or through the lamp shop. But yeah, you see, Maria Gambrelli was discovered. Yeah, Maria, yeah, Roman Catholic Mary, was discovered with a murder weapon in her hand. If somebody is Mary in that car, it is most likely Jackie Kennedy, because she is the queen. Huh? She's the first lady. The murder weapon was been registered in some other guy, Miguel Ostos. I have not looked it up. Maybe Spain. Maybe also a hint of Loyola. Maybe, just maybe. And was kept in the glove compartment of the balloon Rolls-Royce. It has something to do with luxury. Yeah. So I don't want to. So the obvious things you cannot conclude. Yeah. So that Maria killed the victim. Yeah. With in that case the chauffeur. Yeah. And he was Spanish. Yeah. So you see that interesting. Yes, you got a combination of the Italian rifle. You got something with Spanish, and you got Maria. So you got all the things which could lead a bit to the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah. So and Kennedy was down to obey the Pope with several papal bulls, Dictatus Papae and Unam Sanctam. Yeah. So both saying that the worldly rulers have to obey the Pope. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I said, "Oh, that is very strange." And now I'm a little bit lost because I don't know why. No, Brett, give me 1 minute because I don't know what is. Did I? Oh, 204. Oh yeah. Ah, I know what I did. I know what I did. Ah, I know what I did. I have inserted here for the next time. So, okay. So give and take, Brett. If my assumption that the car is the altar and JFK was killed by the lamb shop as the Lamb of God, okay, then this is a procession. This is a ceremony. So why she's complaining that it's so hot, literally blinding all of us because she's not dressed properly for that kind of weather, it seems. But, there's a big but. People will claim that, of course, to have a signal for the shooters that they don't shoot Jackie. Yeah, sure, there are no shooters who are directly shooting to the car. The shots are coming inside from the car. So, why is she wearing a hat? That is so simple. That is so simple. If I am correct with my estimation of being that an altar, we go to 1 Corinthians. Also, shall we go back to the Blaney version?
It doesn't matter, Michael. Come on.
Okay, so.
Doesn't matter. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have, excuse me, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one, as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, forasmuch as he is the image and the glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
Hmm. This is the altar. Therefore, JFK does not wear a hat, but Jackie, as the one who's putting out the ceremony, has to wear a hat. And according to my biblical understanding, that's also the reason why Connolly is having the hat in his hand. He cannot have the hat on his head during the killing. Simple. No, maybe too simple. I don't know. Maybe too simple, I don't know. But that's my kind of thought, because usually also the Pope has coveted his head, which is not biblical. It's not biblical. Yeah, sometimes children are more clever than their parents, because this one hilarious child here, which is putting the Pope's head away. Sometimes the wind is also not in his favor. Yeah, but usually that's the head, and of course during a procession, during a mass, yeah, you have to take the head off, and that's what Connelly did. It was only Jackie Kennedy complaining about the heat because she had to stay with her head on during the procession, during the mass. The sacrificed lamb, John F. Kennedy. That's why she is wearing a hat. Maybe there are other purposes, but that could also be one conclusion. 1 Corinthians 11. But there's much to come on that subject, which is the last subject, because you see that he's just holding the hand like in a church. He's not supposed to take the head off because of the extreme heat. Yeah, she's supposed to have the head on during the mass. And you have to the slaughtered lamb, or the lamb of Christ. Yeah? Agnus Dei is called the lamb of Christ. And that all happened on November the 22nd, which is a Friday. Friday means Vendredi. Vendredi means Venus. Yeah, so the day of the Venus. Yeah, so who is Venus? The Roman goddess of beauty, other than Jackie Kennedy. Yeah. And you can also add the root of the circumference of Venus. That would be 11 or 110. So it is the Jesuits in the end who would say the end justifies the means. For example, from a book of J. Buford Holbert of Montreal. And he says, from approved Jesuit authors showing that they teach the principle that the end justify the means, as that maxim is vulgarly understood, that it is lawful to do evil that good may come. Yeah, that's the same what in the Bible would say, that they will kill people and think they did their God a favor. Can't remember the quote, Brett. Maybe you can account at the moment. Yeah, it's like also in Revelation 9:11. Revelation 9:11. Brett, please.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Yeah, and in the German Bible, it is explained that Apollyon means the one who is responsible for perdition. Yeah, and then
son of perdition.
Not the son, but the man of, also the angel of perdition. Perdition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an angel, huh? It's not the son, it's the angel. So it's responsible for perdition. Yeah, so that's Revelation 9:11. Apollyon. Okay, it's the same as in the 2 Thessalonians.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Same as in the 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2.
Oh, you just went right over it, right there.
Down below. Yeah. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 2 to 6. Yeah.
Okay. That you be not soon shaken in mind. Start there. I'll just start at the beginning, verse 1 through 6. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
Yeah.
How many verses was
that?
No,
that's just that you see that is the son of perdition here mentioned. The son of perdition. Yeah. So, and when we know that in Apollyon 9, the angel of the bottomless pit is the perditioner, so to speak. Yeah. These are the followers of the angel of the bottomless pit. And these followers of the angels of the bottomless pit, they are sitting and giving themselves out as a god in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Yeah, so who can that be other than the papacy? And they have a snake on top of them. Yeah, so they are in the line of sorcery, in the line of Simon the Magus. Yeah? And so it is absolutely clear. If it is not clear, yeah, look at this, like as that Vatican snake room. Yeah, he's speaking at the mouth of the snake, or the mouth of the serpent. Yeah, Jacqueline Kennedy said it was terribly hot, just blinding all of us. If I am a bit correct, then take the next thing into consideration. This is called JFK Pieta. Minnesotans JFK painting bound for Vatican. Pieta is unveiled at the Cathedral of St. Paul. This is a depiction of a dying, wounded, head wound of John F. Kennedy in the right temple, Brett. With the grieving Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. And that is called Pieta. And this is from St. Paul's in Minnesota. Mark Balmer's Pieta shows a grief-stricken Jacqueline Kennedy cradling the mortally wounded president's head in her lap just after their limo has arrived at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. It's a moment that changed history, but a moment Balmer could only envision because it wasn't photographed. So it is all a fairy tale. You see the presidential limousine behind here with that frame, metal frame here. And that looks like a car, hearse or what else, I don't know. Yeah, but that's very strange. Yeah, that's very strange because the proportions do not fit. Yeah? does not fit. I don't know what kind of car that should be. That should look like another convertible or what. I don't know what that is. This is a door. Yeah, so that is almost like a hearse here, I think it is. Yeah, that looks much more like Kevin Costner than anything else. So I don't know what the author or what the painter did do, but it's clearly a depiction of something else. Yeah, he said, I mean, obviously it's the Pieta, and she reminds us of Our Lady. Yeah. So we're talking about a religious ritual. In the King Kill 33 of James Downyer, he said that in alchemy, the killing of the king was symbolized by a crucified snake on the Tau cross, a variant of the crucifixion of Jesus. He said that pharmakos means enchantment with drugs and sorcery, or beaten, crippled, or immolated. John F. Kennedy, the one and only Catholic president of the United States, was a human scapegoat, a pharmakos, which meant an enchantment with drugs and sorcery. Yeah, your magic bullet from Paul Ehrlich. Yeah, to with a chemical agent, or beaten, crippled, or immolated. Yeah. So, in an alchemy, the killing of the king was symbolized by a crucified snake on a Tau cross, a variant of the crucifixion of Jesus. Yeah. When he approached the St. Paul Cathedral, which already houses two of Balmer's enormous frescoes, you know what kind of a painter he is, it became the inspiration for a week-long event examining the assassination. Yeah. Also, there is a papal letter called Famuli Vestre Pietatis of Pope Gelasius I to the Eastern Roman Emperor Anastasius. Of course, there were no popes in 494, but you see that Wikipedia tells you that, which outlined a separation and complementary of spiritual and temporal powers. Pieta, how fitting. How fitting. Yeah? Pieta is unveiled at the Cathedral of St. Paul, right in Brett's neighborhood. Almost.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
the Metropolitan, by the way.
Pieta is also the name of the famous Michelangelo sculpture of Mother Mary holding the lifeless body of Jesus in her arms. I mean, obviously, it's a Pieta, and she reminds of Our Lady and just how mothers sacrifice a lot of wives, and that is the blessed Virgin is with us, with all of us. Yeah, Mary was not a virgin after Jesus Christ, huh? He did have brothers and sisters. My. Yeah. Kennedy's status as the first Catholic elected president. Yeah, but he said, no, I'm not the Catholic candidate for president. My. How hard can it be? You see, that is the veneration of Mary as the veneration of also Jacqueline Kennedy. Yeah, and the sacrifice, what does the Pope say one day later after the assassination, sacrifice of John F. Kennedy? Yeah, he was the sacrificed lamb, yeah, through the lamb shop. Yeah, so it is really likely that he was killed through that lamb shop, or with that lamb shop, actually. Yeah. And the Pope is, of course, praying to Mary for Ukraine. Yeah, of course, it's about the second prophecy of Fatima. Yeah, that Russia has to be Catholicized, as although Ukraine war is taking place also to shorten also the food for the entire world and all the other benefits for them. Yeah. But Pieta depicting the Virgin Mary creating the dead body of Jesus after his body was removed from the cross. Yeah, in the Bible you don't find that. Yeah, and this is the comparison, Brett, here, just for your view. Yeah, so that's the Minnesotan painting where you clearly see that this has everything to do with religion. Yeah, and that is yeah, that has also been shown in the Vatican here. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, the reason is so obvious. The reason is so obvious. You see that when the reaction of the Pope was that he said, we pray to God that the sacrifice of John Kennedy, etc., etc., he's speaking of a sacrifice, and they were speaking of a martyr. We have talked about that last time. Yeah. And we found a strange coincidence that that was the frame 313 here. Yeah. And I saw one of the heads as if it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, right? But that was not my research, that was just another researcher's research. And I had my doubts about it, because you see, that deadly wound was not a deadly wound, so to speak. It was almost a deadly wound, but in the case of John F. Kennedy, it was a really definite, fatally head wound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And also that wound has been made to the papacy here and to the church, so it is not attributed correctly.
No,
yeah?
That's true. That's true.
Therefore, I came to quite another conclusion. You see, don't be fooled on the outside. Only God can look into the hearts of people. Yeah, she wanted a divorce. Yeah.
Yeah, Genesis. That's what I was thinking too.
That was that's yeah. You see.
Mm-hmm. And the Lord God said unto the woman, "What is this that thou hast done?" And the woman said, "The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat."
The serpent beguiled Mrs. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, do you know the official name of that snake hall in the Vatican?
Yeah, it's called Pope Paul VI Audience Hall.
Yeah. Who is Pope Paul VI?
Ah, very, very interesting point. Michael.
Yeah.
Pope Paul VI,
Yes.
wasn't he elected after just during before the assassination? He's the one that he met with Pope John Paul this I'm sorry, Pope Paul VI, didn't he?
Yeah,
right.
He met,
of course.
143 days before he was killed. He met Pope Paul VI.
Yep, and he refused to kiss his ring.
Yes.
And his wife actually did kiss his ring.
Yes. And there you got my solution to the case, in Genesis 3:13. The serpent beguiled her.
Yep.
And she did eat.
Yep.
She did eat of the forbidden fruit. Yeah, that's a load, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then you are back to the magic bullet, yeah, because you see that magic comes from the snake, and you see that 313 means the serpent beguiled her also. So she's got a so-called magic bullet too, if you would like to say that. So she's got a bullet which is exploding his head, but not affecting her, and creating many colored things. Maybe there was also a little bit chemical things in it. We don't know, yeah, but 313 depicts most likely Genesis 3:13 and not Revelation.
Well, one thing's for certain, at the very least, she was instrumental in bringing him into the position he needed to be held in.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it. Is at the very least, if not actually, actually bearing a weapon and doing the deed herself. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't think that this perfume, which has been named Woman 313, is by accident. It's also a clear depiction of 313 with a woman, which could also be leading to Genesis 3:13. Yeah, because this perfume can also be used to beguile men. The serpent beguiled me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so perfume, Woman 313. And woman, Jackie said in her, and a woman named Jackie, he said JFK was just a poor Catholic. Yeah, there you go.
There, that's right.
Just a poor Catholic. And John F. Kennedy did not pay homage at the Pope. He did not bow down. Although his family was present at the coronation of the former Pope, Pope Pius XII. Yeah. But she was obedient Catholic. You see, this is the funeral of the younger brother of Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy. She is kneeling down. I don't know when that is actually, but She is a real proud Catholic.
Or is that a cardinal, Michael? It might just be a cardinal. I don't know.
Cardinal Cushing. It can be Cardinal Cushing, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a strange bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, but you see that JFK didn't stand any chance. Yeah, he had this representative of the fallen angels, of the sons of perditions here. This
Janus Janssen, was it?
Yes. Yeah. This is not the most powerful man in the world. If somebody was that, and it was in the Vatican, either the White Pope, Paul VI, Montini, or Janssen's the Jesuit general. Yeah, so they work hand in hand. Jesus Christ said, "A house divided into himself cannot stand." Yeah, so therefore they work hand in hand, I think. That's a great red dragon, huh? So that is my conclusion for the second to last session on Kennedy. And next time we will go into even deeper things on Kennedy. When it comes down to the papacy, and some hints that I have found, and we are not ready with the magic bullet also. So I hope that was some interesting thoughts. I hope that you really read your Bible, because really, you see, with the Bible you can solve the mysteries. Yeah, with 313, with the snake, with the sorcery, with the magic bullet, with 7 exit and entry wounds. Pristine condition can also be a hint to the Virgin Mary. Yeah, pristine. Yeah, almost untouched bullet. I think I've missed out that part. Yeah, so there's so much to speak about that magic bullet, and the JFK assassination, and everything points to the papacy, where JFK has not bowed down. That's also the reason why.
I just thought I'd bring that up now, Michael. It's very interesting when you bring that to the table, the fact that a magic bullet is in reference to a form of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That changes everything.
Mm-hmm. No, Paul Ehrlich's magic bullet. Once again, a German guy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
Yeah.
All right.
We are through. I just want to show you what I wanted to insert in the last session, maybe also in that session here. I have made some subtitles here of the visit. Yeah, so that it's more easy for the people to understand.
Oh, nice. And the black popes right in between them.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is my conclusion. I don't have any other solution than it is papacy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Michael.
No one other is so powerful that he can influence FBI, CIA, and all that govern stuff and all these people. Sorry, it's not possible to get rid of the brain of American president. Sorry, it's just too big. Yeah, it's just too big for any local or national agency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it has to be a supernatural agency and somebody who is controlling all the secret services, and that, according to E.R. Hunt, can only be the Jesuits.
That's right.
So that's me for the this session here, and now we have only one session after we have closed down the conspiracy session and Kennedy, and then I'm really glad. Thanks for having me, and handing it over for my beloved brother Brett. Thanks for assisting me so much, Brett.
Absolutely, Michael. Thank you for bringing us through the incredibly entangled mess that we just went through of the Kennedy assassination so far. Well, we're not quite to the conclusion yet. We are getting very close, and yeah, it's a fantastic realization, and yeah, a breath of fresh air to know the truth behind all of these different politicians and bureaucrats and secret societies. They are all working through their own means of, beguiling the world, really, not just the women, but the men along with them. So, Michael, I can't say that I'm any better than anyone else here, that I've been deceived too. And that it sure is great to come out of that deception and into the marvelous light that Jesus Christ has brought for all of us through his gospel and through those that are willing to take the time and do the work just like Michael has done to show us that indeed there is a real perpetrator, and they've been at work for hundreds of years to achieve their goals, and surely they've achieved their goals, and the prophecies are being fulfilled and have been fulfilled. So we will definitely be bearing with all the rest of the evil this world has to dole out to us as Bible believers in this wicked day and age we live in. I think it's just going to keep getting worse, Michael. I don't think it's going to get better. I think it's going to just get harder and harder to bring people to this knowledge that we just have labored so dearly to produce. And just hope that others out there would do their own research and come to their own conclusions. But definitely want to thank Michael, and looking forward to the next session in this series to wrap it up. And yeah, greatly looking forward to that, Michael. Thank you. And God bless, and Maranatha.